All right, we're back on the channel today, guys. And today we have a very, very special guest that I think you guys are gonna be able to relate to very, very well. Her name is Kelly Newton. She's a full-time business analyst for a health insurance company. She's 41 years old, living in upstate New York, and doesn't fit your typical profile of what a TikTok Shop affiliate would be. She had zero TikTok Shop affiliate experience before joining us and never even posted a single TikTok Shop video until February of this year. And in just under 3 months, she's done nearly $100,000 worth of TikTok Shop GMV. And every single month has been higher than the last. She hit gold her first month and platinum by month 3. She's on track to hit emerald status, which is $150,000 a month in GMV by Q4 of this year. Now, before we get further into this video, here's one thing I want you guys to pay attention to. Kelly is not special. She didn't have an expensive ring light setup. She doesn't have a nice aesthetic kitchen. Her house is built in freaking 1920, and she's filming in her dining room in between her real life and her corporate job. She also got burned by another program right before joining us. She paid for a course, basically got nothing, and almost didn't trust anybody again. I think a lot of you watching this know exactly how that feels. So we jumped on a Zoom with her and we walked through the entire journey. What she was doing prior to TikTok Shop, what exactly that first month actually looked like, how she got consistent, and how she scaled from $0 a month to platinum status on TikTok Shop in under 3 months. Finally, we're gonna be going over what she would tell someone who's sitting on the fence right now about starting TikTok Shop. You guys can fully grasp how life-changing TikTok Shop can truly be. So sit back, relax, grab a notepad, and let's get right into it. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I have a very special guest. We have Kelly Newton, who is a health insurance specialist, or health insurance specialist, right?
Business analyst for a health
Business
insurance
analyst. There we go. Yep. And she started with us doing TikTok Shop 3 months ago and has now done just shy of 100,000 in GMV. And every single month has been seemingly doubling in GMV and commission. So absolutely insane. Prior to joining us, guys, she had zero TikTok Shop experience and ripping on her 3rd month, going into May now. She's doing absolutely insane as well. So yeah, kind of tell them a little bit about, what you were doing prior to this, what do you do in your normal life?
Yeah, so for my day job, I work at home. I work for a health insurance company. I generally really like my job, but I've always kind of been a side hustler. So I've loved to do like little things to make extra money, especially when, at your day job, you don't always make quite what you want. So I've always been into like finding extra ways to make money. And as an older millennial, I'm a chronic TikTok scroller. So I started to see, I got by a bottom of funnel ad a couple of times. And then I started seeing people talking about selling on TikTok Shop, selling bottom of funnel. I was like, oh, if this is legit, this could be a really fun side hustle for me. So that's kind of how I got interested in going down this path.
Yeah, so you found TikTok Shop through a bottom of funnel ad. You got sold on a bottom of funnel ad.
I did, and I'll tell the story kind of quickly. I don't know if any of you have seen that Go F Yourself card game that was kind of going around in the fall. So I saw a top of funnel ad for it, and I was like, oh, that seems fun. We're going on a family vacation. This might be fun to play. And I looked at the price, and I was like, I'm not going to pay that. So, a couple days later, I get an ad that's like, whatever % off. I clicked on it. It wasn't quite what I wanted to pay. And then eventually I got another bottom of funnel ad, and I was like, ooh, yes, this is really 40% off. Buy. Instant buy. So when I started to hear people talk about bottom of funnel, I was like, oh yeah, this does work. This worked on me. People want to see this kind of content. So
yeah. So what made you so I guess that's kind of what made you realize, TikTok Shop is an actual opportunity. You saw this 15-second video, made you actually convert probably a little 50% off banner saying it was, the last day of the sale. I'm assuming is that sort of a video. What made you kind of consider, okay, maybe I should start trying to do this kind of stuff or try out TikTok Shop as a whole?
Yeah, so I started going down a rabbit hole of AI bottom of funnel TikTok Shop. And I was like, that's really interesting because if I could do the videos with AI, that might be really easy. And, AI is so popular. There's so much advancing. And I actually ended up buying a course that was horrible from a person who really sold me. And, we had a lot of DM chats. And when I got into the course, I was like, A, this doesn't explain what I need it to. B, this is too hard. And C, a lot of this is BS. So but in the process of seeing all of those videos, I started seeing other videos of like legit bottom of funnel people. Like I saw some from you, some from Caden, some from Marissa. I was like, okay, this seems more like what I could do. And I already know it works on buyers. So let me try to like learn more about this.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's something that a lot of people don't realize is a lot of that AI stuff. There's a lot of risk with TikTok Shop, a lot of violations. And you know, it's not too hard to pick up a product. I could pick up this camera, make a 15-second video, talking head or even faceless with the actual product, and it'll convert 10 times more than that AI video just because you have the actual product and it's not going to get violated long term. So I think that's the absolute beauty of not doing the whole AI aspect of TikTok Shop, kind of staying more towards the product aspect and having the stuff actually in hand. But, you know, what was your biggest fear, hesitation? Because obviously you had a little bit of a rough start, we could say, with that whole AI stuff. What was like your biggest fear moving forward after that, kind of trusting in us? Like, kind of tell me about that.
Yeah, so I was nervous about quite a few things because I was like, are they really going to teach me what I need to know? Right? Because I had been burned by this other
Yeah.
person. So I was nervous about that, but I had seen so much content already on your all three of your pages specifically that I was like, if they're giving this much out on TikTok Shop already, it seems like they're probably going to like really hook me up. So I felt nervous about that, but I felt like, okay, I think I can trust them. I also felt nervous kind of about, will I be able to be successful? Will I make money? Will I, waste money joining Creator Haven and not see results? And, when I got on a call with Marissa, she talked to me about like all that you get as far as the personal attention, the Discord, the training that you guys give in the WAP, the retainer deals. It really took a lot of those fears. And I was like, okay, this sounds legit. I think I can trust these people. I'm going to go for it.
Yeah, and that's absolutely amazing. And I think that that's a huge aspect as well, having those retainer deals, having that hands-on support that you're not going to find, in just a course. That's why we're more of an agency, kind of more, not more personalized, not just here's a course, go learn on your own, go through an entire WAP. Like we have the WAP there, it's just kind of that base structure, but we really, sell ourselves on, we're going to help you, we're going to handhold you, and then we're going to also have those Sunday calls. If there's anything that comes up, we hold emergency meetings. So I think that's the absolute beauty of it. We really appreciate you trusting in us as well. Countless others have, hundreds have. So, but yeah, kind of tell me a little bit about your day to day, before TikTok Shop, kind of what you were doing, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So I'm very much a homebody. I like to do things at home. So I live in Western New York, kind of near Niagara Falls. So there's a lot of like really fun outdoor things to do. So I'm interested in like being on the water, canoeing, kayaking. I do some winter hiking. I like cooking. Games, hobbies, lots of stuff like that.
So you're kind of always looking, for that, probably something fun to do on the side as well that will make you money off your phone. So did you like try any other side hustles, income streams, like on the side before you kind of tried out TikTok Shop at all?
Historically, yes. Nothing in recent history, but I have done a lot of things. I used to run a blog about the keto diet. So I got into like, how do you build your own blog? How do you do this? How do you write recipes? That sort of thing. I used to do some like couponing, and I've always done a lot of different side hustles. But the last couple of years, things in my day job have gotten really busy. I've had several promotions and I had less time, but I'm always still looking for something. And that was the other thing about TikTok Shop, is it seemed like I could fit it in to my everyday life, like in the time that I had.
100%. I think that's the beauty of bottom of funnel as well. We're not sitting here editing something for 2 to 3 hours at a time. We're kind of taking it, 30, all you really need for bottom of funnel is 30 minutes to maybe 2 hours a day if you're posting at scale, at volume across multiple accounts, but you don't need 12 hours a day. You don't need to do this full time. Like you, Scott, countless others in the community that have full-time jobs, 9 to 5 jobs, even have full-time families, or not full-time families, but families as well, 3, 4 kids. And their full-time jobs, and they're still making it work, hitting consistent 10, 20, even 30K a month with faceless and face talking videos as well, which I think is absolutely amazing. But obviously, you came to us pretty much at the very, very start. So kind of what did that very first month look like for you inside of Creator Haven?
Yeah, so that first month, it's interesting because when you see a bottom of funnel ad, it looks so simple, especially when you're seeing the faceless ones. But there's a lot of nuance to like making those videos, and it takes you a little bit of time to like get good at it. And so when I first came over to you guys, it's like, okay, I can do this. So I start like making videos mostly in store because, I'm new. I have no free samples. I'm requesting everything that I can. I'm filming a lot in store, which really worked out for me. That's one of the big ways that I hit gold my first month, because I didn't have a lot of products to speak of. And what I had wasn't that great. Right. So I got some stuff through the agency, right, through the tap links that you guys have. And then The rest I mostly did in store my first month. And then I really was practicing filming at home with the products that I had to try to get better. And the other thing that I really love that Creator Haven does is having the account reviews. I cannot tell, my first account review, I learned so much, like little things I didn't even realize I wasn't doing, right? There are obvious things like lighting, I have a background that's clean, but there are like little nuances that you all teach us in these account reviews and seeing other people's account. So I spent a lot of time studying that. I used to write down on the account reviews different people's accounts to go back and look at later to try to help improve my video quality. So really in my first month coming, I went through all the trainings. I was active in the Discord, going to account reviews. I'm learning, I'm writing things down, I'm practicing. The other thing I'll say for anybody who's nervous about what that time commitment was, I do not spend more than 2 hours per day, even when I was new, doing all of that. So
that's crazy. Yeah. And I remember from that very first account review, I think maybe it was the second one, you came on and you were like, hey, like I had this one video go viral in store. It was with your husband, I remember. You guys had like something in a cart. I don't remember what the item was, but you're like, guys, I sold like 10 items or 10 products off that video. We were like, wow. So it really just proves going in store sometimes and using that to your advantage. Some of these methods we teach, you don't even need the actual products. It's almost like kind of that AI kind of style of you don't need to have the product in hand. You just go in store, cost effective on you. You're not waiting around for the samples. And it's super easy and it's really, really crazy to convert. Conversions are always super, super high with those videos as well. Then obviously you scaled, second month crushed, third month crushed. What was like the biggest thing that you would say moved the needle from that first month where you're doing, gold status to the third month, getting you to platinum. And then ultimately, fourth and fifth month, over the next 2 months, we do expect you to, hit Ruby and then Emerald eventually as well.
Yeah, so there are a few things. One thing when I was new, I did, and I still struggle with this, right? Because I work full time, I live my life, I do things. Consistency was a big part of it, right? Really posting 30 plus videos a day. I don't always hit that, but that's my main goal. So that's been like a big thing for me. And I've noticed the more consistent I can be, the better my account does. So that was one thing. And the other thing that really changed for me is once I hit gold after my first month and I could request so many samples, I max out my free samples almost every day. So I am getting so many new products in, and that has really helped too, because it helps me get my volume of videos up. I have enough out on the algorithm that I can make money, even if it's 1 or 2 sales on a product and I never make a video again. That all adds into that GMV that I make, that adds into my commission, and you start to see this snowball effect. And when I was new, I would always hear, especially Caden loves to say the snowball effect.
Yeah.
And I didn't really understand what that meant until I started to see it in my account, where it's true. Videos that I made, 2 months ago, I'm still getting sales on. So as you're stacking videos and you're having a couple sales per video roll in, that just builds over time. So that was another big thing for me, is getting in the products, stacking the videos, and just getting that snowball rolling.
Yeah, definitely the product selection, diversifying yourself as well. Like Caden always says, the snowball effect of having, this huge array of just different products and then nail that with consistency, 30 posts a day. That's nearly 10,000 videos a year. I mean, that's a lot of videos, a lot of different shots of the net. So yeah, definitely would say that would definitely have helped you a ton, and it shows that it has. But yeah, definitely that's really, really good. So in terms of that, what was your biggest aha moment that, kind of showed you, oh my goodness, like this is actually something I can do, as a real side hustle that's going to make me legitimate money?
2 things. So obviously my first sale, right? The first time something sold, which was probably within a week of starting. And I was like, okay, this is legit. People do buy things, which I felt like I already know because I started as a buyer. So that first sale, you just feel like, okay, and I am so bad, and I feel like a lot of other new people can relate, checking my sales. Like I'm a big sales checker, even though I know I shouldn't do it, right? But the first time I saw that, I was like, yes. And then on a day when you have 2 sales. So that was really good. And I will say 2 other milestones that were big for me were hitting $50 days and $100 days. But honestly, after my first month, when I hit gold, my commission was, very good for my first month. And I was like, wow, even if I only ever make what I made in my first month, this is more that I've made in another side hustle, or maybe close. Like this is on par with another side hustle I've done before. That's way less work, way more fun, and I'm getting free products. So really hitting gold and seeing the commission for that first month, plus the money from the retainer deals, I was like, this is all I wanted it to be. And then when I doubled my second month and then like doubled my second month in my third month, I was like, wow, this is just like more than I could have asked for. So those
Oh,
were all big
100%.
moments for me.
So would you say, because you did talk about how you try not to look at your sales too much, kind of tell me about becoming process-based versus kind of results-based with TikTok Shop. Is there a specific thing you do to, solely try to just focus on inputs rather than results? Because obviously, we have those high days where it could be $200-300, and you have another day, like you said, where it could be, $50 to $100. How do you deal with that?
Well, I kind of look at it like a roller coaster, and I happen to love roller coasters. But in truth, you just have to understand that it ebbs and flows. So I like to look at overall what I did for the month, right? And so I'm seeing gold, platinum. So I know I'm on the right trajectory there. And then I'm also focusing on inputs in terms of videos that I make. So how many can I make in post per day? And I do have 2 accounts, so it is a struggle sometimes to hit that on both accounts. But so I'm looking at my inputs. But the other thing I really like to focus on is my free samples, right? Maxing those out and then being diligent about posting those. And my sample score is so good. My product selection score right now is really good. And it's just, again, that upward trajectory from focusing on the inputs rather than just results. Because if you just look at your sales are great, but like that's not what moves the needle. It's
Yeah.
doing those other things consistently.
No, 100%. And kind of tell me about how you kind of approach products. Are you promoting the same 4 products, or are you really posting, 100 different products a day? Are you doubling down pretty much at all?
So I am new for any of you listening. I've only been doing this since February, but this is what I try to do. When I get new products and I post my samples, I make at least one faceless, sometimes 2 faceless of that sample. Okay. And so I hit my 30 videos per day. If I still have more new samples the next day, I do the same thing. When I run out of videos, right, if I've posted all my new samples, the number of times that I've posted them, I will repeat products that have had over 1,000 views or that have had sales. Or if there's a product that I know is having a big sale brand wise, I might repost some of those. But I am more focusing on getting the new stuff in, testing, 2 to 3 videos on that, and only then repeating products.
Gotcha. And how many free samples would you say you're getting per week? Because you said you're maxing out your samples for the most part. Are you getting like 20 products a week, 10
No.
products a week?
I'm getting probably at least 50.
50. Wow. Yeah, that's a lot of
Sometimes
samples.
more, right? Because I'm maxing out my free products. I'm also going into my collab invites. And I think sometimes people sleep on that. And I've had a couple of things that I've gotten from collab invites. I don't know if you've seen any of the videos of this like 2-pound bucket of honey.
Oh, yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I got that from a collab invite, and that was one of my biggest sellers last month. That's not even on a GMV max brand list that the agency recommended, right?
Yep.
So I lean heavy on those, but I also am like collab invites, and I'm
Oh, yes.
looking
Yep.
at, anything that has a $10 or higher commission, I'll request it. If it has between, 2,000, 10,000 sold, I'm like, not very much competition, request. So I'm maxing out the samples and collab inviting. And honestly, it's a little overwhelming. My sister had to come over and help me organize samples because it's chaos. It's great because I'm getting so much stuff, but it's a little chaotic for me still.
Oh, yeah, 100%. But that's great to hear. That's something that we always preach. We give you guys those brands, we give you guys those products, but to always look on your own, because like you said, you took a risk on one product. It was a free product. It became one of your top sellers, if not your top seller last month. And kind of leading into this month, you're making sales on it still. So sometimes just going on your own, using the strategies we tell you with collab invites, scrolling the For You page, filtering like the managed showcase option, and getting your hands on as many free samples. Sometimes that's the difference between, $100 day and $1,000 day is one single product that you can find within the little, cracks and stuff. So,
and people that I see struggling, either, people I'm talking to within Creator Haven or, on my personal page, I'm talking about bottom of funnel, that's a big mistake I see people make. It's like, you posted in the last month, not 30 videos per day, and you're repeating the same 10 products and you're saying, I'm not getting sales. You got to get new stuff in. If I could give people any advice, that's what I would like to tell you. Post more different things.
Yeah. And I think that's something, like you said, a lot of people struggle with. They stay to the same 4 or 5 products. They keep trying to recycle. And all they need to do is go out and get a new batch of products, a new wave of products to kind of push them past that little bump in the road that they're in. So yeah, you're doing everything correctly in terms of product selection, all that sort of stuff. So kind of tell me about your typical day in the life with TikTok Shop. You said you're spending no more than 2 hours a day. What does the filming look like, the editing, the posting? Kind of give me all that.
Yeah. So what I do, I'm an early riser. So I'm usually up by 6 and I start work at 9. So I have a big window in the morning. If everything goes to plan, I am filming my videos in the morning. I will post some in the morning and then I'll post some on my lunch break, on my afternoon break, and then anything that I didn't get done, I will post after work. So I'm really taking that morning time, especially now that it's light earlier in the day, it's a lot easier. Because like I said, I live in the Northeast, so I struggle with light to begin with. It's very gray here. But anyway, the whole point is I try to film in the morning, start posting in the morning, and then as I have time, if I have, lunch or break during the day, and then the rest of it I do after work, and that's about it. And it doesn't take, right? I said I had that 3-hour window. It doesn't take that whole time, right? Yeah. But that's when I do it, is usually early morning.
Yeah, that's perfect. And you're not spending too much time on it. So a lot of people are going to think, oh my goodness, you're doing, almost 100K in sales in 3 months. It's got to be taking so much of your time. And then no, not at all. Which is absolutely amazing. So obviously, how many different products would you say you're currently running? Do you have like a system behind it, how you're like tracking these products? Or you're just kind of just film and go, don't retouch, and then only retarget a couple, kind of break that down?
Yeah. So my big focus is to film my new free samples. And because I'm getting so many, generally, for some reason, I had a dip this week. So I've had some product repeats, but that's my real plan. Okay. I've got these free samples, today, when I'm doing my filming, I like to batch film. If today I film with my face, I film all of my samples with my face. Tomorrow, I might do all my samples faceless, right? So my real focus is to hit about 3 videos per new free sample. And then if I haven't hit my 30 videos on my account yet, I'll be like, okay, what sold this week, or what sold last month, or what's on sale? And I'll kind of rotate some of those back in. The other thing that I do sometimes, if I don't have enough samples to fill my personal video quota for the day, is I'll think, okay, here's a product that I didn't sell, but other people are selling. Maybe I need to just try one last video before I get rid of it. So sometimes I'll do it that way too, but I'm still working out a system, and this is just where I'm at now, and I know I'm doing well, but I'm still only, 3.5 months in. So it's a little bit evolving, like as TikTok evolves, as I get better, I kind of evolve the system too.
Yeah, I got you. And how have you kind of dealt with like TikTok Shop violations, all that sort of stuff? Kind of break that down. Have you dealt with violations, bans, anything like that?
Yeah, that was actually another big reason I wanted to join the agency, because this was back in February. So there was a lot of people being afraid about violations. And this was also really right around the time that the US took over TikTok. So there was a lot, it felt very volatile. And I thought, if I'm in an agency and they're going to give me violation support, if something happens, they can help me. So that was a piece for me as well. I have had on my main account 6 violations total. 1 was my fault. I linked the wrong product in my first or second week. I just wasn't paying attention. Nothing I can do. That was all on me. Last month, I had 5 violations that were, was it about the inconsistent price? And I appealed them, won them, and I haven't had another violation since. So that's another thing that I really like being part of Creator Haven, is if you get a violation, there's support. I've won my appeals on my violations. And then you guys are always on top of, okay, this is what you need to tweak to make sure this doesn't happen again. And that's the support that could I have learned the rest of this on my own? Probably. Would it have taken longer? I think yes. But but the idea that TikTok changes so quickly and things that didn't give you a violation 3 months ago can give you a violation today. And having an agency community to be like, guys, this is coming. Watch out, y'all. Be careful. Don't do this. Try this instead has been one of the main reasons why I want to be a part of it, and so helpful in my ability to protect my account.
Oh, 100%. I think especially like the expired price violations, the 30 posts per day thing that's potentially coming out here within the next 10 days. Being able to stay on top of that, kind of know how to tweak your content so you're not getting violated. So you're not just getting rinsed with random violations out of thin air that, could potentially have a long-term effect on your account, freeze commissions, take away shop access. Long-term, longevity-wise, you always want to be with an agency where they have, the back end data, they have the reps on the back end, they have, the news before, they also have a large sample size of creators. So it's a little bit easier to spot a shift in content or spot or make a pattern and see data to where you can kind of spot consistencies when there is violations and stuff along those lines. So, I mean, that's amazing to hear. Yeah, with the whole violation system and stuff, like you said, with TikTok shop policies changing, I mean, it can be annoying. Like you said, 3 months ago, you could do something completely fine. And today, if you were to do that, it'll literally ban your account. Absolutely crazy. And especially the whole US takeover. And luckily for you, you came in at a good time as well. So 6 months ago there was a lot of violations you missed out by being a little bit later to the game, which is you got really, really lucky. But yeah. So in terms of, your monthly revenue, obviously you hit gold status. Kind of where are you at now in terms of status on TikTok shop? You did around 5,000 GMV first month being with us, which is absolutely insane. That's like you said from the jump about probably 10 minutes ago. That's most people's goals. That like you were fine at gold status. What are you at now and on target for it?
Yeah, so last month I hit platinum. I did on my main account, I did 27,400 GMV last month.
Wow.
This month I'm at about 14,000. So I think I'm on target to hit platinum, maybe
Yeah, we're
more.
only 11 days in.
Yeah, I've been seeing some really big sales days this last couple of weeks. So I'm like, I don't know if I can get above platinum this month. That's my goal, right? We're on the trajectory, but you just never know. So yeah, that's where I'm headed.
Yeah. And are you running you have two accounts, right? Two?
I do have two accounts. So my second account, I hit gold last month. I do not know where it is at this month because it's been a lower priority for me.
Yeah. Obviously, we've talked about within the community, putting a lot of eggs in one basket in terms of accounts right now. I'm really trying to spike it, really trying to get the GMV going, which is why you're at 14,000 GMV already 11 days in. And the good news is I know we'll get you to platinum. We got that campaign rolling around in 9 days from now. It's going to hit the whole back half of the month with the Memorial Day sale. So really, really looking forward to that. So that's going to be absolutely amazing. So what does the actual business kind of look like now in terms of, are you running retainer deals? Are you anything going on around that, like brand deals, anything?
Yeah, so my first 2 months, I did really lean heavy into the retainer deals, and that made me feel a lot more comfortable because they felt like TikTok was a little bit unpredictable. And last month I did no retainer deals. And that was my highest month yet. And I feel like it kind of helped me in a way because all of those, if I had to make 50 videos for this retainer, 50 for this video, this retainer, instead, that's 100 new products I've got on the algorithm. So I have some products for a retainer this month. What's the one with, there's something with pets and I have two cats.
Solid gold.
Solid gold. So I'm kind of dipping my toe in that one a little bit. And the one with the toothpaste. So I'm going to see, I might not hit it, but they seem like really good products to make videos on anyway. So I'm not leaning into the retainer deals now that my account's kind of taken off, but I felt like as a new person, having that security was so important to me. And now that I don't need it as much, I'm like, oh, if I hit that, cool. If I don't, it feels less scary.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's absolutely the beauty of the retainer deals. Like you said, it is that safety net. The one thing I would recommend to you, use that second account for those retainer deals. That way, if you're not using it so much, then you're not wasting posting space on the account that you really want to drive more products on. So it's super, super easy to hit that. And especially with retainers as well, as we grow as an agency as well, the ultimate goal is to get that number 2,000 to 5,000 a month and get it with products that are going to really hammer and really convert to where it's products you would already be posting. So that's the ultimate goal and the direction we've been headed over the past 2-ish months since we kind of introduced those retainers, but it's absolutely amazing to hear. So kind of take me now through kind of your day-to-day life. So how has it kind of changed from month 1 to month 3? Is your day-to-day looking different? Is there stuff that you changed to implement so your strategies are more effective?
I think a few things have changed. I don't go in store as much because I already have so many products, right?
Yep, yep.
So my filming is more at home than in store. So that's a big change for me from my first month. I think the other thing that I changed a little bit is I'm doing a more 50-50 split of face forward and faceless content because I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable on the camera, like on camera. So to try to really vary my account. And I didn't really feel comfortable when I first started.
How was it? Sorry to interrupt, but how was it the first month compared to the third month being on camera? Was it like very scary, kind of trying to film yourself talking about the product? Like how did it feel?
Yeah, it just felt weird because like, you're holding this product,
Yes.
sometimes, and now I know like there are certain things that are easier. You can show the protein powder. Sometimes I like
Yeah.
mix it, show the bars. Those things are a little easier, but I do an awful lot where I just hold it and talk about it. And
Yep.
you feel a little bit silly, but then you realize it doesn't matter because those convert. And the other thing that made it a little bit easier is I started like taking inspiration from other bottom of funnel creators who are showing their face and kind of putting my own spin on it. So I have probably like 6 or 7 different like versions of scripts I use, and I just rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. So it gets a lot. It just got so much easier once I got comfortable and once I had a better idea of what I was going to say every time.
No, 100%. And then is there a certain system that you kind of follow? Do you like wagon all of your products to where you're like, I have like a little wagon here in my
Yeah.
kitchen. Do you like bring like a little IKEA bag, a wagon? Like, how are you dealing with moving these products back and forth? Like your little
I
area?
It's something that I struggle with because I do not have a good storage system. I have things in my basement on a shelf and then things in bins, and then when my samples come in, then they're just in my dining room, which is where I do most of my filming. So I'll show you what I have that I use when I have to get from the basement because it's cute. I have this like old school wooden picnic basket
Oh,
with
there you go.
handles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
so I use that to kind of carry back and forth from the basement, but a lot of my new products that I test out when the samples come in sit in my dining room, and it drives me crazy and it drives my partner crazy because the dining room has just been taken over by products. Which is fine and it's all good, but I am still struggling with sample organization and how
Yep.
I do that. Because I'm not organized.
No, yeah, and I feel we're like the same way. We got stuff all over the kitchen right now, just from filming probably 2 hours ago. The entire kitchen's just full of products, and then we have probably in the other room like 5 shelves that are ceiling to floor, just full of different products. But that's the beauty of bottom of funnel is that most of these products will sell. Absolutely crazy. So what does it actually mean to like kind of work with somebody? Like obviously me and Kaden or Kaden and myself, we actually do shop. So kind of is it kind of cool to like see that we actually do shop? We're not just, selling you a course. We're not just telling you to do something when we're not actively doing it. And kind of break that down.
Yeah, it's kind of a real game changer, right? Because I did tell you that I got burned on that other course.
Mhm.
And it was barely even a course, which kind of drove me crazy, but there was like no step-by-step process. So
Mhm.
working with you in Creator Haven, like there's so much support beyond this, but what I found so helpful was the structured kind of learning in the WOP, where it's like, here are videos of how you do this step by step. And then on top of that, there's the whole Discord where I can ask any question at any time, and you,
Yeah.
Caden, or any one of the coaches is going to answer me, right? Then there's like a weekly call.
Yeah.
Great. So I'm getting all that information. And then there's these account reviews. So it's just a whole different experience because everybody you're working with is doing shop. So,
Yeah.
like, I'm not asking someone who did shop a year ago, saw success, and started selling a course. I
Yeah.
am talking to every day people who are doing the same thing that I'm doing and sharing their results, right? So that's encouraging. And we're like navigating the waters together. And then
Yeah.
like you and Caden have everything on like the agency side to share too. It's a total game changer, and it's a completely different experience that I've had with any other course I've ever taken, TikTok shop aside, right?
Yeah.
People actively in the trenches doing it, all together learning and having the back end agency like knowledge and support. It's, I hate to say game changer because it's so corny, but it really is. It makes such a difference in your ability to get the knowledge real time, implement changes, and be successful. It's
Yeah,
great.
100%. And I think the fact too that we're giving the accounts out to you guys, we're not gatekeeping anything, whatever's working on our accounts, whatever products, we just send them to you guys and say, okay, this is tested, this works. Go ahead, promote this. We have a certain format that's working. go ahead, start this format. If we see something in store, a certain store that's working, go in this store, film this. Or, if we have a certain brand that we know is 100%, running something, we're not going to gatekeep that from you guys. We're going to give that to you so you guys can go out, replicate it, and make money. So I think that's like the absolute game changer. And I don't know a single other agency out there where the two owners or founders are actually doing shop consistently across multiple accounts and actually getting results as well. I just did $21,900 one single account last month, and I'm running 8 of those accounts. So I think that that's something that, yeah, go on.
I was just going to say that account that you share with us, that one that you did, that crazy, you said 21,000, right? Was commission
21,900. Yep.
So I follow that account, and what I do as part of my sample selection process, anything on your account that has more than 1,000 views, I free sample. I just free sample.
Yep.
And like, I can't, the way you shoot your videos is a little bit, like, I can glean a lot from how you shoot the videos, which is really helpful too. But like every day I can just go to that account and look at it. And that's been a thing that, really changed when I hit platinum last month. Following that account and being able to watch that account helped me grow too. And I saw it in the numbers. So like, it's just completely different than what I see any other community or agency doing. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, 100%. So how would you say that personalized approach with Kaden and myself really helps you as a creator?
It's just so different, right? It's so different to be able to have access to someone who knows and who has access to people to find out if they don't know. And we have access to you all the time, right? Yeah. Like, I could text you, I could put something in the Discord if it's not that important. And even if I need none of that, I see you every week on the call. Like, it's so different from anything else I've ever experienced. And the other thing that I think is so different too is like the calls that we have. And like, none of it's rah, like it's encouraging and positive, but like I see a lot of communities where they focus on the mindset call, which is great. Like, mindset's so important, but like, we're talking about real stuff you could implement every week.
Yeah.
I have access to you and Kaden every day. We have, if there's a violation problem, there's immediate access to violation help. Like, I do not know of anyone else doing this, like TikTok Shop or otherwise. It's very, very, very rare. It's like personalized mentorship, but also a group setting. It really makes a difference. Yeah.
And I think that's the value we bring. We bring you the one-to-one support. We bring you the agency and the community access, like you said. Now we have it built out to where we have 7 people that can answer your question at any given point. We have a whole violation thing that we made with Claude that goes in there and gives you the scripts, can respond to you right away. We name him Jimmy. So he can get back to you right away. So instantly he can go ahead and send you the script that we could send you as well. So the whole violation system, we update that every single day with new scripts. We always are ahead of the curve. And I think, just having the ability to, have access to somebody that's actually doing shop actively as well. And on the agency creator side, so we're on both sides of the ball as well. So we can see kind of what they're, and the brand side as well. So we know what the brands are looking for, the agencies, what the terms of service is changing, and what the creators are dealing with as well, because we're actively posting as much as you guys are as well. I think that is absolutely key. So, obviously you said a lot about value. What have you specifically, besides like, let's say account reviews, what do you think has been like the most value for you from the group?
For me, because of who I am and how I am, and I was so new. I had no TikTok. I did not post a single video prior to joining Creator Haven, right? So for me, having the WAP training just to get me started was like, it was so valuable because I had no other frame of reference. I needed less like, this is how you do your videos now. I needed less personal support and more of like a basic, like, okay, this is how you make a video. You film in this setting, you do this angle. And I needed that so much. It set me on such a good path. I don't think that has more value than, the one-on-one aspect or the account reviews, but that's what I needed when I started, just because I had nothing prior to this about TikTok Shop.
No, 100%, especially having the backbone to always reference at any point. We try to update that probably every month or so, and try to keep it up to date. If there's a new strategy that drops, we're on it immediately. If there's a new policy thing, we'll take out a section, add another section in. I think that's absolutely key, especially for beginners or even intermediate people or people that are killing it. Just the ability to go in there, see what we're doing, see what we're updating in terms of policy, in terms of, TikTok Shop is ever changing in terms of everything. So yeah, that having that WAP there as a backbone structure is definitely key. What would you say to someone who's never done TikTok Shop that is coming in now? It's obviously we're almost, midway through Q2 and is like, TikTok Shop is too saturated. What would you tell them?
I have a lot to say about this. Number one, my experience is that TikTok Shop is not too saturated. We're like just on the beginning,
Oh yeah.
especially since we've just had this US takeover. I know TikTok Shop's been around for a couple of years, but it's taken a while for TikTok Shop to grow. And now that the US is involved, we're starting to see really big brands get on TikTok. So we're like down here. I think like oversaturated is up here and we're down here. So like I would tell people, don't worry about that. The other thing that I really want to tell people is that like if I can do it, you can do it. So I am 41 years old. I'm about to turn 42. I live in a house that was built in 1928 without an aesthetic kitchen. It needs a complete remodel. And I hit gold my first month. I hit platinum my first month. I had no experience. Like, if I can do it, you can do it. I work full time. Like it's totally possible. And it's really fun and really rewarding. And like, just join Creator Haven. Like, give it a 3-month commitment, right? I felt like that's what I did, right? I was like, okay, for 3 months, I'm going to do everything they say. Guys, it works. Like,
Yeah.
it totally works. And you can do it. Even if you're old, even if you don't have like a nice setup, like, there are no obstacles that you can't overcome to starting TikTok Shop. Like, that's what I want people to understand.
No,
Like,
100%.
you
And
can make the money.
yeah, no, 100%. And in terms of, everybody thinking you're late to the game, not at all. We're just at the start, like you said, with the whole US takeover, all these billion-dollar brands are starting to flood onto TikTok, throw money into GAV Max because they understand the spillover effect that with TikTok Shop, if their video gets even 1 million views, that's potentially 1 million people that go into Target, Walmart, and now have brand awareness around these brands. Now they're going to go, it just creates this big whole snow globe of brand awareness around their brand. So as time goes on, every single day, there's more and more brands that are going to be joining TikTok Shop. And big influencers, they're starting to launch all their brands on TikTok Shop as well. Before you know it, it's just the whole world of social e-com or social online shopping is going to be TikTok Shop, and it'll be the number one platform here within the next couple of years. I believe last year they did like 2 or 3 billion in sales. It's expected to double this year, so which is absolutely insane.
Right.
So
So
yeah,
there's a piece of that out there for all of you,
oh,
right?
100%. Yeah, not
That's
too
what,
saturated. Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
not.
crazy to think about that.
Yep. And with all these ad budgets, and right now there's this huge surplus of not creators, of brands. There's this many brands and this many creators, and there's this much ad spend that anybody can eat off of. So especially right now, you're very early. Amazon was new for the first 10 years. TikTok Shop has only been around 2.5. So if you look at it that cycle, you have a lot of time to make a lot of money. And especially now, we build these brand or connections with these brands. We can move on to Instagram Shop eventually, YouTube Shop as well, and other platforms that will eventually be released in the coming years as well. But yeah, we're just at the start. So what would you tell somebody who's been burned by a course before or doesn't just trust coaching in general or agencies in general?
Yeah. All I can say, man, is I've been there. I told you all the story about how I literally got burned 3.5 months ago, and I still joined Creator Haven, and it was worth it. And I think if you watch enough of videos produced, on TikTok from people like Bruce, Caden, Marissa, anybody else who's in Creator Haven, you'll see that the experience that you've had in other places is not what you get here. And it's so different. It's even hard to explain. So like the experience person to person and the support that Creator Haven gives, top notch. And then
Oh
I
yeah.
will say the experience that I have in terms of being able to be successful right off the bat, 100% due to the support from Creator Haven. So that's really all I can say, is that I get it. People out there are so crappy. I've been there. It's happened to me, but Creator Haven is different. And my results, I think, really show that.
Yeah, and definitely from your results. And we do appreciate you saying that, all that,
Yeah.
100%. You definitely put in the work. Like we haven't done the work for you. You've definitely put in the work. You've showed up consistently. Like you said, you have so many products that are just absolutely everywhere. But month after month, it's been almost compounding. And you're actually starting to see that snowball effect that Kaden and myself always talk about and stuff. So, what would you kind of tell somebody? Obviously, you have a ton of products, but what would you tell somebody who's been posting and grinding on TikTok Shop, but they can't figure out why they're not converting?
What I have seen from my limited experience of people that I talk to on TikTok saying I've been doing this for, 3 months, 2 years, 1 month, I'm not making any sales. They all seem to have very similar problems. Problem number one is they are not posting enough. Right?
Yep.
You cannot post 3, 5, 10 videos a day, especially if you're doing bottom of funnel. That's not enough to get out there, to get your videos picked up with GMV Max, to get your videos out into the algorithm. You have to post more. Thing number one. Thing number two is you need different, better, and more products. That's another big thing that I see. You cannot post the same 10, 15, 20 products. And people will be like, well, these are this is selling for me. It's not selling a lot, but it's selling. Great. Let those videos that are selling sit out there and post 100 new things and let those sell too. And you've really got to do that. And I don't think people understand how much more you can make in commission by putting out testing 30 to 50 new samples a week. That's what I started doing. That's when I hit platinum in April. Like it's just the truth.
Yeah, no, 100%. So what would you tell somebody that thinks, okay, well, I need just more content then? What would you tell them? So they just need more content, but now they don't have a strategy. What would you tell them?
Well, you need a strategy, and you probably should join Creator Haven and follow their strategy to a T, because literally that's all I did, right? I had nothing. I had tried nothing. I joined. You guys said post 30 plus times a day, post these products, go in store. I did that, saw results. Like that's the truth. That's how I feel. But I do think, people, if you are just posting, you do need to follow a strategy. If it's not Creator Haven strategy, that's okay. But you need to find something that works and implement it and give it at least 30 days. So the other thing I see people say is, well, I've been doing such and such for 2 weeks, 10 days. That is not enough time. Whatever strategy you're trying, whatever style of content you think works and you want to do, bottom of funnel or otherwise, give it 30 days, 60 days, and do it consistently the same way every time and get results.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's something that we've always preached, and every single day we preach, and all these calls we preach as well, is the people that say, oh, I'm not getting results, this, and that. You ask how many times a day they're posting. Oh, I'm only posting 2 to 3 times a day. You ask how many products. Oh, only 3 to 4. And then we're like, okay, well, what are you doing? And they're like, well, I'm not posting enough. I'm not posting consistently. And that's usually the actual issue. And then on top of that, they come in, maybe they've only done TikTok Shop for 2 weeks. And they're like, I haven't seen results. In reality, with that snowball effect, it could take 2 to 3 months. That's why we do the 3-month minimum with Creator Haven, because we like the idea of let's handhold you for 90 days, make sure we implement the systems, make sure we, implement what we like to call bottom of funnel optimization with getting, 30 to 50 products, with getting the exact scripts down, with getting the exact styles down. That way we can see it spread across accounts, see the results actually start to flow in. Because I don't truly believe it's possible. We've had it happen where somebody can come in, in 1 week, they can make $1,000. Sure, that can happen. But a lot of the time, it could take 30 to 60 days, like you said, for somebody to see real results. And in order to see that, they need to post consistently, get more products, all that sort of stuff. So what would you tell somebody that's constantly blaming the algorithm, for not seeing success, blaming the algorithm or blaming their niche? What would you tell them?
First thing I would say, if you have a niche, get rid of it and post everything. Like that's number one, right? Like people, if you're doing bottom of funnel, please stop niching down. It's not going to work for you. The other thing that I would say is, instead of treating the algorithm like your enemy, treat it like an opportunity, right?
Oh, yeah.
Every bottom of funnel video that you post is a new opportunity on the algorithm. I didn't understand before joining Creator Haven that the TikTok Shop algorithm is different from like if you're posting just regular videos on TikTok Shop. So literally every time you post a video and you link a product to it, TikTok's AI algorithm is like, okay, is this going to work for this brand's budget? Is this going to convert with GMV Max? So the algorithm can't hate you because it's picking up differently every single video. So instead of like treating the algorithm like doesn't like me, my account is bad, such and such hates me, think of it like as an opportunity. I made this new video. Okay, algorithm, here you go. It's your opportunity to, sell this. And that's how I really wish people would view when they post their videos. Like I wish they could shift that mindset a little bit. I think it's helpful.
No, 100%. And I think something a lot of people don't realize is, TikTok makes 3% of every single sale on TikTok Shop. So they want you to win. They're not incentivized to just ban accounts. They're not incentivized for you not to make money. They want you to make money as a creator. That's why we always say, post more videos. They want you to make money. They're not telling you, oh, don't post one time a day. That's not beneficial for TikTok. They make money from these brands coming on the platform and putting ad spend into the platform. So they want you as a creator to win. They're incentivized for you to win. But that doesn't mean you can just come on here, and complain and blah, blah, blah. You got to actually show up and inputs, and post as much as you can with the wide product selection and the right strategies. And I think essentially that's what separates the creators that win on this app versus the ones that don't. So yeah.
I think another thing people have trouble with is taking constructive criticism or being able to see like what maybe they could do better in their videos.
Oh, 100%.
Sometimes people are nervous to go to an account review and say, look at my account. When I was new, my videos were not good. Right? I needed someone to be like, Kelly, you got to do XYZ. And I think, being afraid to ask for help or being afraid to have someone say, like, change this is really going to hinder you. So that's the other thing, too. If you're in Creator Haven, don't be afraid to be like, does this video suck? And don't be afraid for someone to say yes. It helps you get better.
Oh yeah, constructive criticism is absolutely everything, and something that we absolutely preach every single day. Because without that, how can you ever improve as a creator? Yeah. Besides, yeah, 100%. Is there anything that you wish you would have done differently from the very jump of starting?
And that I could do differently now is have a better system in place for my samples. I know we've talked about it.
Oh yeah.
I'm not that organized of a person to begin with. I wish I had put a better like system of organizing in place, and I will get there. I'm sure that I will, but that's been like a struggle for me to be organized. And sometimes like trying to sort through what I need to do takes more time than actually filming the videos, which is so stupid and a thing that I've done to myself. So I think that's really it. But the rest of the things that I did in terms of actually filming, posting products, going in store, I like how I did that. But the only reason I knew to do that is I just did what you guys told me. Everything Creator Haven said to do, I just did it, and then it worked. So I have no regrets or like changes in that aspect. Like I just followed the system.
Yeah, that's incredible. It's incredible. It's incredible because you started from the jump and immediately saw it. Like a lot of people sometimes will get on these interviews, and like I told you before we started this, we'll get on and somebody's had, hasn't had success for 2 years. They've been on the platform for 2 years. So the fact you just came in, implemented systems, that's usually what happens. But yeah, immediately saw success is absolutely amazing. For me, what I wish I had, I started very, very early. There was nothing. I didn't have a community. There was nothing. Like if you looked up TikTok Shop back then, nothing on YouTube, nothing on Google, there was no AI back then that I used. I didn't even use ChatGPT back then. It was early 2023. It was right in the early days of when all that stuff was rolling out. But there was absolutely nothing on TikTok Shop. So I didn't know how much to post. I was posting a couple times a day. Didn't have any clue about product selection. There was no such thing as GMV Max. So for me, what I wish I would have done a little bit differently is probably, posted more consistently. I think if I could have posted 30 times a day back then, I would have had a 2.5-year snowball effect versus now. So I think I'd be, instead of 6.5 million GMV, probably closer into the areas of 15 to 20 million, probably double or even triple the amount of sales. Personally, that's what I would have done a little differently. Been a little bit more consistent at the beginning, dialed in a little bit more on product selection. But yeah, it's absolutely amazing that, you haven't struggled with too much or changed much besides, a better sample kind of structure to follow. But kind of tell me, what's next? Where do you envision everything going within the next 3 to 6 months and, eventually even Q4?
I'm so excited for Q4, right? That's the other thing that I was happy about starting when I did, because I was considering kind of delaying just for my own personal things. But like, if I'm seeing this snowball effect in my 3rd and 4th month, like, what could happen by Q4? Like, what kind of money could I make? Can I hit Ruby? Can I hit Emerald? Like, so I'm just excited about the possibilities there.
100%.
So like that's very exciting, and kind of over the next several months, I do want to really focus on, my main account is doing really well and I'm going to stay consistent there. And I want to be able to work my second account up because Q4 is coming, right? So I really want to be like amping that one up too and focusing on my inputs there. So it's kind of like just get these 2 accounts, keep them both going and see what happens.
Yeah, 100%. And like I always like to say, Q4 and everybody else on this app, Q4 is the Super Bowl for TikTok Shop affiliates. It's kind of like our Super Bowl. It's kind of, that's where we're going to see probably anywhere from a 50 to 75% increase in overall sales as an agency. That's last year we did record numbers. Yep. So we're going to see record numbers Q4. So that's when all the brand ad budgets are, because you got Black Friday, you got Cyber Monday, you You got Christmas sales, you got New Year's sales, you got end of the year sales. That's a whole crazy time period where TikTok also ramps up ad spend. They subsidize coupons even harder.
Yep.
GMV Max is through the roof. So definitely going to see that snowball effect, especially with you already hitting these numbers right now, 3 months in. I could even see you potentially even Sapphire, potentially even,
I don't
350.
even know how much GMV that is,
I
Bruce.
believe
I
it's
haven't
like
even looked
450,
that far.
450. But I mean, if you're doubling already and we don't even have a sale this month, I could easily see Ruby, Emerald in the coming months. And then, ultimately Q4, if you can keep that snowball effect rolling, easily Sapphire, easily. So I definitely think, we can definitely get you there to that point. But yeah, Q4 is going to be absolutely insane. So luckily you're here early. Like you said, anybody that's sitting on the fence right now, don't sit on the fence. Right now is the time to start. Today is the time to start because ultimately Q3 is Q4 prep. And once Q4 is here, it's all in. And you don't want to be, trying to play a game of catch up once Q4 rolls around because that's when people are going to have more motivation to post. Right now, when stuff is a little bit on the lower side, is where you can kind of get an edge on people. People are kind of slowing down. You got summer around the corner. People have off of school. Maybe they're slowing down, spending more time with their family. But if you can find time to, double, triple your inputs now, you're going to reap the benefits come October, November, December, and then ultimately really be printing to the point where you're waking up to $1,000 a day on Q4 morning, or not Q4 morning, well, potentially Q4 morning, but like we'd like to say Cyber Monday morning or Black Friday morning where you wake up and you're like, whoa, which is absolutely crazy. But yeah, if you could say something, or if you could say one thing to someone who is exactly where they were before you started, what would it be?
Join Creator Haven, trust them, work the process. It actually works. I mean, honestly, and I don't want people to think that I'm like trying to sell y'all on Creator Haven, but like this is my real experience. And this, prior to joining, I heard from you and Caden and Marissa, but like you guys kind of own the agency. Like it's your job to sell that. Like it is not my job in this interview to sell any of you on Creator Haven, but I want you to know that like I could not have done this without joining, right? All I had to do was join and follow the system and get results. And like that's possible for you too. So that's what I want to tell everybody. Like really works. You can make the money you want to make on TikTok Shop and it's totally possible.
100%. I think this is something Marissa always emphasizes that, if you just follow the Creator Haven system down to a T, you will see results because if you're getting your hands on new products, if you're, posting consistently every day and then showing up to those account reviews, getting that, constructive criticism, showing up to the Sunday calls, and then ultimately utilizing Caden and myself and our accounts, there's no way you don't win. And the retainer deals as well. There's just no way you don't win. The formula is there for you. You just have to put in the work. But yeah,
exactly.
Kelly.
And it's the full formula. Like nobody gatekeeps. Like
Yep.
it's everything you actually need. It's not like this will get you started, figure out the rest of it. It's like the whole system is laid out for you and you just do it. And then you
Yep.
can hit gold and then you can hit platinum, so yeah.
100%, 100%. But yeah, congratulations, Kelly. Nearly 100K GMV in 3 months. So it's absolutely amazing having you on the YouTube channel. We appreciate you a ton. You can shout out your TikTok, or I'll have it like linked in the little bio as well. But yeah, guys, if you want, do you know the username?
For my personal account.
Yeah.
So it's a variation of my shop account. So it is Finds by Kelly B, the letter backup. Very, very original.
And she drops a ton of value on her channel, guys. So make sure you guys go ahead and follow her TikTok. So much free value. Obviously, guys, we're going to have a link below to join us at Creator Haven. You can also follow us on TikTok, Bruce.gold, and Creator Haven, all platforms. We appreciate you guys so much. Thank you. Make sure to like and subscribe and fill out the form in bio.